Welcome back to the course. Now in this video we are going to go into a little bit more of your brand's design. We are particularly going to talk about your brand's colors. Why does it really matter what colors you are having on your brand? When you are marketing, when you are creating your logo, and all of that stuff. We're gonna dive into brand color in this video, so let's start. And don't forget to download your business branding template. Go to page number 13 to brand colors. You will have a small explanation down here and a bigger picture with all the meanings of all kinds of colors on your template. Let's dive into the video. So brand colors, you might ask yourself, why can't I just pick my favorite colors and be fine with that? Well, different colors has its own meanings and also can be based around different types of industries that people or your potential audience are thinking about when they're thinking about different types of product or service. That's why we are going to delve in a little bit more in depth on this in this video. So what are the meanings with different colors? Well, let's start off with the color blue. The color blue taps into the emotions of people, and the blue color often gives trust, feels responsibility, honesty, loyalty, and inner security. So if your brand personality goes in line with these types of emotions, then blue might be your color. And it's used to reduce stress, to calmness, to relaxation, to secure, and to create order. And is often used in the industry like finance, security, technology, healthcare, and accounting. And if you think about one brand that is using blue as their main colors in their branding, what type of brands do you think about when you hear the words trust, responsibility, honesty, loyalty, inner security? I think about Facebook. If I go on Facebook, I am leaving out my personal data like my name, maybe where I live, etc. If I would like to have those type of information secured, then I can sign up with Facebook. And they are within the technology space. So if your brand is blue, then you know that, type that down. Otherwise, let's move on to the next color. Red. So red, that taps into the emotions of energy, passion, courage, love, excitement. So if your brand personality goes in line with either energy or courage, or maybe passion or love or excitement, then red might be your color for your brand that you are going to use in your branding campaigns and maybe in your logo design as well. And red is often used to create urgency. You know, these big sales signs when you go into different stores. So create urgency to stimulate something within you, to also get people to have a little bit caution. Maybe it's a sign that says stop when you're driving on the road. It says stop, so it's a caution sign. And to encourage people to do things and to draw attention. Industries goes fine with red as food, sports industry, entertainment, toys, and fire protection. Now, if I say the color red, what type of brand do you think about when I say energy and courage? For me, it is Red Bull because they are all about these extreme sports kind of vibes. So if your color might be red, if your personality, your brand personality is something that reflects in the color of red, then write that down and take that with you. Orange. Now, orange taps into the emotions of independent, optimistic, adventurous, fun, and creativity. Often brands that are pretty new in a type of market that would like to go in and disrupt that market can use orange. And that's pretty common when it comes to branding. It is used to fascinate, to draw attention, express freedom, stimulate, and entertain. and they're often used in the industry like food, art, sports, transportation, and entertainment. Now, if I say the color orange, what types of brand do you think about when I say the type? Like a brand, it could be a brand logo, for example. For me, it is Amazon. Amazon, they are optimistic and they are creative. I mean, they went in and disrupted an entire marketplace with selling all kinds of stuff and all kinds of stuff within food. They are selling art stuff. They're selling entertainment, sport equipment, all kinds of stuff. So orange, Amazon will be the color for me. If you are trying to convey or to give the emotions of either independent, optimistic, adventurous, fun, or creativity, or new thinking more rather, then orange might be a color for your brand. Yellow, it's happiness, right guys? Happiness, positivity, spontaneity, opportunity, enthusiasm. So it's a happy color. And it's often used to affect different types of moods. So if you're feeling a little bit sad, it can help you to be feeling a little bit positive, more like happy. And it's an energized color, so it gives you energy, awakes awareness, and create relaxation and stimulate people to feel better. And it's often used in the industry like food, travel, leisure, sport, and transportation. So if you are within these types of industry, it does work for other industries, but are often used in these types of industry. So it's a good way for your audience to recognize what types of industry that you are within. And yellow, what type of company do you think about when I say the color yellow? And you can also do that in alignment with happiness, positivity, opportunity, etc. I think about the M, the golden M, the McDonald's. Let's move on. Green, tap into the emotion of safety, stability, harmony, balance, reliability. And it's often used to encourage, nurture, balance, relax, and possess people. And it's often used in industries like banking, farming, non-profit organizations, real estate, and environmental project. It is also used in food industries, for example, you know, these vegan signs with a big V and it's green, that kind of industry. Now, what brands do you think about when you see the color green? For me, it is SEB. It's a Swedish bank company. So it's all about money for me when I see the color green. Money and healthy food. And the next color would be purple. Now, there are also, when you think about these charts, there are dark purple would be dark green, dark blue, dark red, and it can also be like a little bit more lighter colors. So when you are going into the contrast, so for example, if you're going with a lighter color, it's often a little bit more happier, moody kind of color. And if you go into the more dark, it becomes a little bit not depressed, but I would say rather maybe a little bit more serious color. So whether you are choosing more like a purple, light purple color towards the pink one, it's a little bit more moody, a little bit more happy, a little bit more sensitive color. And compared to the darker one, which is a bit more serious, a little bit more to the point, if you know what I mean. So purple is often related to emotions like imagination, spirituality, compassion, sensitivity, and mystery. And it's often used to inspire, to spike creativity, to spread wisdom, for luxurious products, and intuition. And it's also used in the industries like beauty and fashion. And that's what I meant with the more lighter purple in this case, more towards the pink one. In women's products and religion and humanitarian industry. And purple for me would be Curves. Curves is an woman's gym company. You go to Curves and you do your 30 to 45 minutes exercise, and no men are allowed in. So for me, it's more a feminine color, and also depends if you are using a lighter version of the purple or a darker version of the purple. Next one would be black. Okay, so black is to tap into the emotions of discipline, power, control, authority, and elegance. It's a little bit more of an aggressive kind of color if you're having that like your base color. We're gonna go into what base colors means in a little while, but it's more like a little bit more aggressive when it comes to the emotions, power, authority. You know that you are maybe the leader within that industry, and it's used to create fear, intimidate, show authority, create mystery, and hide feelings. So a little bit more maybe masculine color, or also a little bit more like the boss color, or yeah, the leader in that industry. And it's widely used, like mostly used in combinations with other colors. So black could be the base of your company color, or it can also be one color that you are using with other types of colors, which we will go into in a while, but it's widely used among all kinds of industry. So what types of company do you think about if I say black? For me, it's crystal clear. It is Apple. It's authority, it's power, it's discipline, it's elegance, all of that stuff. Then we have the white color. White taps into the emotions like lightness, goodness, innocence, purity, virginity, those kinds of lighter feelings. So it's totally opposites to the black color, and it's used to develop faith, create positivity, show cleanness, spike hope, give balance, etc. And it's widely used among all kinds of industries out there, whether you are within the fitness industry or if you're selling cars. It is also mostly a color that you are combining with other colors. So the two happiest colors, I would say, would be yellow and white, while the two most like, how to say, direct to the point would be purple and maybe black. So what type of company do you think about when I say white? For me, it's Uber, but here you can see they are using two different colors. It's black and white, so it's white on a black background. So what colors are your brand? Just think about it. You can pause this video, or you have the same kind of picture in your template, which I hope you already by now have downloaded, because I would like you to choose 3 different colors for your brand. You might ask, can I have more colors than 3? You can have more colors than 3, but it can also be a little bit like confusing for your customers or potential customers on what types of brand you are, because one thing when it comes to branding is that you should be recognizable. You should be easy to recognize you. Imagine just if McDonald's had their M, their golden M, in yellow, black, purple, gray, all kinds of colors. Wouldn't that be a little bit confused if I asked you, can you please draw my logo type? And then you would like, what color should I pick? So keeping it at 3 is pretty basic, and it's good for your brand. So first off, we have the base color. This is the color that you will be using mostly. This is the color that your logo will be in, and this is the color that your personality reflects. So when you are talking to your audience, or you are talking about your product or service, they know exactly what type of color your brand is in. So this is your base. Then we're having your accent color. Your accent color is something that supports your main color. And in this case, I have picked blue. It can also be gray. It can also be green or purple or yellow or anything else, but it should somehow match your base color and also reflect your personality, because you will use all of these colors in your website, on your logo, and your marketing material if you are creating different graphic designs, etc. for your brand. And then we're having your neutral color. And in this case, I picked white, but it can also be gray. It can also be beige. It can also be black. This is if you're creating a website, for example. This is what most of your website will look like. So in our case, it will have a white background, for example, and then the text on top of that, or the logos, etc., might have a bluish color. So now it's time for you to choose 3 different colors that represent your brand the best. You can check within your industry, your competitors, what types of colors do they use? Do I like them? Do I want to maybe reflect my personality in another way? Then do that. Choose your base color, your accent color, and your neutral color. And do it with the template that we have provided in the resources for this video. Good luck. I'll see you in the next video.